Okay. All right. Well, today we're going to talk about computers for photography. And after this lesson, after today's presentation, the challenge for the next week is to go out and buy a new computer and tell us
You're going to give us
why
money, right?
why you bought that. Actually, we are going to talk about buying a computer, but there's going to be a lot about things you need to do to keep everything going and working well. So let's get started. Your computer is just a tool. And I think too many people, at least some people I know, no one in this group, of course, don't take the time to learn how to use their computer. And that's when they get frustrated or lost. They can't find what they're looking for. So, whoops. Did you get that?
Yes. Yeah, I got it.
Hey, who's beeping on me? Okay. So the first thing to think about is, even if you're not shopping, if you have one, think about what you use it for. And for us, our main use is the internet browsing, filing and keeping track of our photographs, and in editing our photos with editing software that we prefer.
And gaming.
Don't forget the gaming.
Yeah.
Oh, Amy, I'm sorry you missed the beginning, but I'll bring you up to date. So the next consideration, let's say you're going to buy a computer, a new or used.
I'm in here on the phone.
What's happening?
I'll take care of it. Keep
Okay.
going.
Is to choose between a laptop and a desktop. A desktop, I think you're all familiar with, it'll be in its own box with the CPU. You have a monitor, and the box has just about everything you need. They're less expensive than laptops and all-in-ones. All-in-ones is for me, a new concept. My wife got one where it's like a giant laptop that you attach a keyboard to, and everything's built in. So, but they take up more working space, but it's easier to replace components or upgrade. I had strongly believed in desktop for photography over laptops for quite a few years. And I built my own computer where I just bought all the stuff, starting with a case. And then as I needed more space, I would just take it apart and put in more hard drives. So a laptop is more portable, obviously, takes up less room. Usually they have a built-in camera. I think most monitors you buy these days also have a camera. So laptops have improved so much, or maybe it's Apple laptops, but I actually prefer my Apple laptop for processing photography versus my overbuilt PC that I made. You need to think about your budget, and you always want the best, but you need to filter through what you can afford. And now when you buy the computer, some of the specs you need to know is for photography, you need Intel iCore 7 or i9 and 4 cores or more. That'll be one of the things they talk about. RAM memory, that's where your system is doing its operations, it's magic. And you want to have 4 as the absolute minimum. 8 is better. And if you're doing photo editing, 16 is even better. But of course, the price goes up with each of those. The things that you need to plug into the computer, if you want to listen to DVDs or, sorry, CDs or whatever, which in today's world, I don't think I've used a DVD for at least 3 years now. Before I used to buy DVDs in stacks, flags, but just don't use them anymore because of the cloud and other reasons. You'll need a printer, and I say a multi-purpose printer, because if you're going to buy a printer, it should also be able to scan. And of course, you'll need a camera for Zoom meetings. Now, the primary drive C on your system is if you buy a computer and only has one drive, it'll be called the C drive. And you can buy them with, I don't think you can get less than 500 gigabyte anymore. Most of them are around 1 terabyte, which is 1,000 gigabyte. But you can also get 2 or higher too at, of course, a greater price. The more programs you're going to run, the larger this drive needs to be. Now, the way around that is to have a second hard drive, where the external or built in, that you keep all your work on. And that will help prevent bloating on your computer and slowing it down. So you want to get at least 1 terabyte if you're into photography, because you'll use that up pretty fast.
Steve, there was a question
Yeah.
regarding what is 4 cores?
Okay. Why am I going backwards or forwards?
Yeah,
here?
go back. You need to go.
Go backwards.
Yeah, I'm trying. It's not working. It's not working. Okay, so now you've seen everything. Okay. The more, if you only have one processor, one Intel, say iCore, Intel i7 processor, then that one core, that's a core, it's going to have to do all the work, and it'll be very difficult for the computer to do any multitasking, keeping your Lightroom and Photoshop open while you're looking at the internet. 4 cores mean you have 4 processors, and they then can divide up the work and do a multitasking. Allows the computer to do multitasking. So does that answer your question? Is there anybody out there?
Yeah, find out, but
Okay.
find that when you buy your computer with, let's say you wanna go with Dell and you wanna find out, which one have 4 cores or something like that. It should show somewhere.
Well, yes, and right now I'm kind of going over some of the preliminary basics, like that you need these are things you need to know when you get your computer driver's license, when you take the test, okay, like when you drive a car. So, but later on, I'm going to talk about the actual buying process. So hang on for that.
Okay.
There are 2 kinds of drives. For years, they were just the rotating discs, but now we also have solid state. The solid state are really nice. They have no moving parts. They don't have mechanical failures because there's nothing mechanical about them, but they are more expensive. So additional drives, I highly recommend that you always have for example, I have a C drive and an E drive. The C drive is where all the programs are stored and everything the computer needs to run the programs. But everything, all the documents, photos, anything I'm working on is stored on the E drive. So I never have to worry about, well, I do worry, but the worry is a lot less about filling up the C drive, because if your C drive gets down to where it has limited amount of storage left, your programs won't run. It needs some breathing space to run these programs. And this thing is so jumpy. Come on. And actually, I gave you the simple version. On my laptop, I have 2 external hard drives. One is my working hard drive, and the second hard drive, external hard drive, is solely for backup.
Now, what do you mean by working hard drive?
The working hard drive is when I process a picture, my folders and files and folders that have to do with photography or documents or PowerPoints are all stored on the working hard drive.
Okay.
So
You just create a E drive?
you buy it. You buy an additional drive.
No, I mean, when it shows up like the C drive on your computer.
Well, it's
I actually have 5
can-
drives.
you can name it anything you want. I actually have named my working hard drive on my laptop SRG, because you can rename it. And then I got real clever on the other one. I call it backup photo. This is what I've named it. So that's how they show up when you look at them. Now on the PC, I did stick with I didn't bother changing them, and it just so happens it select after I did the C, bought the C, and then I added the other drives. I think I have 3 or 4 in it, and it went from E, F, G, and H. So
Oh, I think I understand. Those are all external drives, not,
well, on the PC, they're internal drives that I put in the cases have slots for more than one drive. You can continue to add, when you buy a desktop, it comes with an internal hard drive, but you can simply take the case off, slide in another hard drive, hook up the right connections, and now you got 2 hard drives on that computer. Your C will remain your C, and the software on a PC will either name it D or E. The reason mine goes from C to E is I have a very small section of my C drive that's for something I can't even remember right now, but that section is called D. So when I put in another hard drive, it named it E. And then when I added another one was F. I think I've got E, F, G, and H. I've got a total of 5 drives in my PC, and I don't use it anymore. I have 2 external hard drives on my laptop because I don't want to lose my work. So, and I want to keep it organized. Now, when you buy a PC desktop, you get to you can choose between a lot of graphic cards, and the higher ones are more expensive, but they'll give you better colors on your monitor, and they have higher resolution. Plus, most of them have multiple outputs. Like for example, again, my PC upstairs, I have 2 monitors hooked to it. So, and it's because I have a high-end graphics card. Now, all computers are going to come with operating software. And basically there's there's more than two out there, but the only two we're concerned about is Microsoft Windows on your PC or Apple software if you buy an Apple computer. Now, Doug put this in here and I didn't get a chance to double check with him. I remember when they were switching from 32-bit to 64-bit, there was some programs that wouldn't run in 64 and so forth. I think everything now is 64, but I need to double check on that. And the YouTube University will tell you the difference between 32-bit and 6-bit. Antivirus software. This is a tricky thing. It used to be the antivirus softwares were all these actual viruses that could clog up take down your computer stuff. You don't see much of that anymore. What you're seeing a lot of are phishing emails, fake websites, which you could call virus or spam. And they can create annoying pop-up, make a lot of noise, tell you to call a phone number. They can steal your personal data, block your system, demand payment. A friend of mine, actually, he got hit with ransomware, and they called him and they said, "We have all your passwords." And he said, "Great, send them to me." I forgot what they were. So at some point, your system will be hacked. So be prepared when it does and have backups. And I have had it. Now, what should you buy for antivirus? There's two schools of thought on this. Windows now says you don't need any antivirus. Our built-in antivirus and malware and stuff is good. And as good, but a lot of people feel as though it's good to have and augment that. And so you got to be careful here because Doug and I both agreed, we've both had Norton in the past, and Norton is really bloating the system. It slows it down. And the other thing, so you need to do some reviews, which I'll show you where you can do that on if you're going to buy an antivirus program, which one to get. And then you got to be careful on downloading them, because if you or go to Google right now and search for Norton, you'll get a bunch of them popping up to sell you Norton, but you look at the URL where they're coming from, and they're companies that are selling Norton. They're not actually from Norton. You want it, or if you go to Adobe, let's say you're Adobe Reader, there's a whole bunch of companies offering you Adobe Reader. You got to sort through and find the link that's actually truly Adobe. Because what these people do is then you say, "Oh, I'm going to go ahead and I download from this one." Well, they put other, while they're adding Adobe Reader, they're adding 2 or 3 other programs to your computer that you don't want or shouldn't want. And I think we all agree now that the computer is our lifeline to the rest of the world. Seems to be the way that it is now. You can choose internet browser software, and the most popular one right now is Google. I think Firefox is second. Many years ago, it was Explorer from Microsoft. Then they changed the name to something, and now it's what's it called? It's called something else now. But I've tried it. They really trying to promote it, but it's very low in sales. I've tried using it, and I found it very confusing. And to get the internet, you're going to have some connection to the outside world. Usually that's through your phone company, through the phone line, which then to a modem. Then the modem has to be connected to your computer. And you can connect either with a cable or you can use Wi-Fi. Now, let's talk about where to buy a computer. And Kevin, you don't take that, what I said before, seriously. You do not have to buy one this week. But buying a computer can be very frustrating. And you should make sure the store you're buying from has a return option that you can trust. If you can, take someone with you that knows computers. Do not trust the salesperson. You may get lucky and there may be a salesperson there that knows his bits from his bytes, but a lot more likely you're getting somebody who's, for them, it's a part-time job and they want a commission. But also ask a lot of questions. And I say the best place that I know, and there may be others that I don't know about that are very similar, but there's Microsoft in Tustin. They have everything imaginable. They're very helpful. They have a tremendous choice and range, but they also have a place where you can sit down and do like what I did at home, but you can do it there. You can select, you can tell them what processor you want, how many cores you want, which graphic cards you want, and the parts go on the table and you assemble it right there. And they help you put it together. So when you buy a desktop that's already assembled, the advantage is it's already assembled. The disadvantage is there's a lot of bloatware that comes on, that's on it, that they want you to pay for when you first click on it, or they'll give you 30 days free, or buy now, only 7 left before they're gone type thing. So I usually spend a lot of, when I have bought one like that, I spend a lot of time removing these applications that I don't want, which just slows down my computer. Now, when you're buying a computer, think at least 5 years. If you spend $1,000, you have to think of what it's costing you in this way. It's costing you a cup of coffee a week. Okay. And I said 5 years. 5 years is, I think, about the longest you can get stay up with technology and so forth. Somewhere between 5 and 8 years, all the programs will have been updated, the requirements will be different, and your computer will be like a Model T, trying to do the new things, trying to run on the Autobahn. So, and you need to learn the operating system, the filing system. The more you understand about your computer, the better use you will get out of it and get your money's worth out of it. Oh, I realized I missed a point here I want to talk about. Micro Center, I talked about. Best Buy, they also have a very good return policy. There's some things a little bit iffy about them, but they do have, what do they call it,
Geek Squad.
Geek Squad. Geek Squad. And then Costco has a very liberal return policy. Amazon also has easy return. And if you know what you're looking for, you can search for exactly the specs you're looking for. Apple, there's a lot of places that sell Apple, including Micro Center, but if you buy directly from Apple, you know you can trust them to do whatever needs to be done at the highest possible price to keep it running. But it'll be done right. Do not buy from a shopping channel. You might get a box of rocks. They'll show you, or the computer will be so stripped down inside, it's virtually worthless. Avoid it, but not only computers, don't buy or select or choose to buy anything off of Facebook. Somebody's going to figure out. It's taken me years to convince my travel agent to not do that, but she's had 3 credit cards she's had to replace because somebody figured out how to use them from her.
Right.
And she was addicted to. She would come to me and say, "Oh, I just saw this on Facebook. Do you think it's a good deal?" And I'd be like, "Oh, the last one I remember she showed me, it was a coffee cappuccino latte maker with steamed milk, and it was for $20. Buy now, limited supply." And I said, "No, you're not going to. There's no coffee maker for $20 that you're going to want in the house."
I bought some shoes and Wells Fargo took care of it and told me I didn't have to pay for it. Took a couple of months, but
Yeah.
they have a whole fraud. I never got the shoes. It was somewhere in China. Anyway, I won't do that again.
So
Steve, I would also suggest B&H Photo.
yes, that's true. Yes, B&H Photo, I should have included them. They're very dependable if you want to buy online. And their whole focus is photography. So you call them up and talk to them and you tell them what you're doing with your photography and your budget. They'll probably have an answer for you, a product for you.
I have a question.
Sure.
Usually I try to call my computer guy once a year to come and just clean out all the junk in my I don't know if I've allowed it to happen or, just things that are slowing my computer down.
In a couple of slides, I'm going to talk about what is slowing your computer down.
Okay.
And you can add to that when I talk about it. I think eBay, there's some things I have bought very little on eBay. I know people do a lot of eBay shopping, but I wouldn't buy a camera or a computer, anything complex like that from eBay. It'd be too easy for it to be misrepresented, just like from a shopping channel or a Facebook. And so that's what I think. And John, thanks so much for reminding me about B&H. There's a couple other ones besides B&H, but B&H is probably the most known. Here's a couple of links. If you're thinking about buying a computer and you can't decide between Albert or Bert on the computer, you can look at PC Magazine and look for reviews on the various computers. And the MacBook link here that I show isn't so much about buying a MacBook, but this guy is so amazing. He's got tons of videos on various topics on getting to know a Mac. I was going to look for, see if I could find something like PC for Dummies, but I ran out of time. Now, yes.
Post those links on our Facebook page or someplace too.
I'll put them there.
Okay. Thanks.
I'm gonna make a PDF of this slideshow and make it available
Oh, great.
for you to share. Let's go back here. I'm
Hey,
sorry.
Steve,
Yes,
one quick one. You had on your YouTube website, it have you, and then there's a period and then two. Is that correct one?
yes, I copied it directly. I
Mm-hmm.
don't know why it's that way, but this guy I find him a good source of information. And I don't know, there's probably another link where you can then see what all, like you subscribe to and see all his videos. But this is one that I happen to have handy. So,
Okay.
oops. Now, back to what strange things are happening here. I thought I had gotten into this, what Barbara was talking about, but I realized that I forgot to include it. I had a video on this about what slows down your computer. And actually, it's not hardware. Your computer doesn't slow down because unlike you, it doesn't slow down because you're getting older or so forth. What does slow it down is software and software bloat. If you've just been, you want to load the latest software game. I don't have any, so I can't think of a name of one, but like I know I see these people were shooting and fighting, whatever type things, or a bunch of games. You load those take a lot of space and can slow down your computer. What really slows it down though is when you uninstall. The problem with uninstalling software is it leaves remnants in the register file and under certain filing systems and so forth. And eventually over time, you get enough of that, it's really starts to slow down your computer. And the other thing, like I said, is you buy a computer 5 years ago, there's it may have been great for Lightroom 5 years ago, but perhaps now Lightroom is using a lot more resources and your computer will be breathing hard trying to run it.
My Mac is 15 years old and it still has no problems.
Well, that's good. Well,
The screen's a
Gotta-
little burned in, but that's all.
what's that?
My screen is burned in.